Good Monday, everyone, and welcome into today's daily Bible reading for October the 17th. Today we are reading together in Job chapter 12. Job chapter 12 tells us about Job's reply to the first speech that is given by Zophar. In that particular speech, Zophar speaks to the sovereignty of God, the wisdom of God, the power of God, and how it is incomparable when we think about what we can do as people. And what is stressed within this particular chapter 11 is that you just can't get how God operates. You can't understand in any sense of the word full. You can't understand fully how God does what he does or why God does what he does. And we noted the irony in that here is Zophar speaking to this and making it seem almost as if he understood exactly what it meant for God to do what he was doing. And as if he could comprehend the way God was allowing things to develop within Job's life and within his particular circumstances at this moment. So Job now is going to answer, and Job is going to employ a bit of sarcasm, but he's also going to agree in some ways to what Zophar is saying. He's going to speak a little bit to nature. That's what we'll focus on here in just a few moments. And then he goes on and does what we've seen on a number of occasions up until this point, where he just lauds the incredible nature of God, where he really exalts God as the one true God. And then we will get to the second, actually this time, let's see. So 12, 13, 14, we have 3 chapters this time of Job's rebuttal to Zophar. And that will conclude then, once we get done with chapter 14 in a couple of days, that will conclude the first cycle of the discussion and debate between Job and his 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. But reading here in Job chapter 12 and verse number 1, and sorry for the glare, the sun is shining today and I have on a white shirt. And so that is definitely making it a little difficult, probably. Hopefully nobody's blinded too much by it. Let me go ahead and read, though, here from Job chapter 12 in verse number 1. Then Job answered, "No doubt you are the people, and wisdom will die with you." Again, sarcasm. "But I also have a mind like you. I am not inferior to you. Who doesn't know the things you are talking about? I am a laughingstock to my friends by calling on God who answers me. The righteous and blameless man is a laughingstock, and the one who is at ease calmly or holds calamity in contempt, and thinks it is prepared for those whose feet are slipping. The tents of robbers are safe, and those who trouble God are secure. God holds them in his hands. But ask the animals, and they will instruct you. Ask the birds of the sky, and they will tell you. Or speak to the earth, and it will instruct you. Let the fish of the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? The life of every living thing is in his hand, as well as the breath of all humanity. Doesn't the ear test words, as the palate tastes food? Wisdom is found with the elderly, and understanding comes with long life." And then here he launches into this this long description of the incredible attributes and characteristics of God that are unmatched anywhere. Verse 13 of Job chapter 12 says, "Wisdom and strength belong to God. Counsel and understanding are his. Whatever he tears down cannot be rebuilt. Whoever he imprisons cannot be released. When he withholds water, everything dries up. And when he releases it, it destroys the land. True wisdom and power belong to him. The deceived and the deceiver are his. He leads counselors away barefoot and makes judges go mad. He releases the bonds put on kings and fastens a belt around their waists. He leads priests away barefoot and overthrows established leaders. He deprives trusted advisors of speech and takes away the elders' good judgment. He pours out contempt on nobles and disarms the strong. He reveals mysteries from the darkness and brings the deepest darkness into light. He makes nations great and then destroys them. He enlarges nations, then leads them away. He deprives the world's leaders of reason It makes them wander in a trackless wasteland. They grope around in darkness without lights, and he makes them stagger like a drunkard. Job chapter 12. Again, a little bit of sarcasm here at the beginning. I don't know if anybody can really deny that. I think it's pretty obvious. No doubt. You can almost see Job sitting here with his friends. He's listening to them rambling. He says, well, no doubt you are the people, and wisdom will die with you. You are the smartest people that have ever walked this earth. That's exactly what Job is meaning here. But then he comes back and says, you know what? I actually also have a mind like you do. I have the ability to reason and to think. You're no better than I am. Everybody knows what you're saying. Everybody knows that God is sovereign. Everybody knows that God is in control. And he goes on and says, beginning in verse number 7, going from verse number 7 all the way down to verse number 12, he notes nature. He uses nature here as an example, as an apologetic, which is a giving a defense or giving a reason for something. So he uses nature as an apologetic. Ask the animals, the birds, the earth, the fish, the life of every living thing, breath of humanity, the design of the human body, the ear and the palate, wisdom and understanding of old people. All of these things, Job says, point toward a creator. That these things did not just happen by chance. If you just look at the animals, they will instruct you concerning the almighty nature and all-powerful nature of God. And that reminds me so much of what we see in Romans chapter 1. Maybe you thought about this as well. In Romans chapter 1, the Apostle Paul speaks of the creation, again, as being an apologetic for God. In Romans chapter 1, in verse number 18, it speaks about the God's wrath is revealed from heaven against all godlessness and unrighteousness of people who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth, since what can be known about God is evident among them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, that is his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen since the creation of the world, being understood through what he has made. Again, going back to Job and considering what's written here, Job also focuses in on what God has made. Again, the animals, the birds, the fish, people themselves, every living creature screams through its existence, through the reality of it being something and it being so intricately made that there is a creator. There's one who is behind it all. There's nothing that has happened by chance. God is sovereign. God is all powerful. He has made everything that is. And we're reminded of that today, just looking outside my window right now, seeing the beautiful sun shining. I don't quite see a few little wispy clouds around here. Cloud cover is not much today at all. The sun is shining brightly, as you can tell. But then just looking at and being able to see the hill that's back behind my house, how the trees are so many different colors. There's some green, of course, that's still mostly green, but there's some yellows, some oranges, some reds. Well, who caused that? Who caused that to happen? Who designed for trees to do this? Did it just happen by accident? Is that just a process of, or is this just a result of natural processes that did not have any of the end result in mind? Well, no. What we see around us is the result of a creator. We think about the beauty of creation, the trees, how they're painted. That painting requires an artist, and that artist is our great God. Job affirms that. Job affirms the sovereignty of God, and yet what he's going to go on to do is to show that I agree with you. We're not in opposition to one another concerning the reality of God and his abilities. We excuse me. We all see that. We all know that. But what is at play here, what we are trying to understand is, how does God work in this world? We understand that what has been created. We understand he's sovereign, but how does he actually exercise that sovereignty? How does he do that? That's what Job is going to continue to discuss with them in chapters 13 and 14 before we begin the second cycle of speeches in chapter 15. Thank you so much for tuning into this reading on this Good Monday. Hope that you have a great rest of your Monday. May God bless you in all that you do. And I hope that our reading today reminds you of the power and sovereignty of God. I hope that as you look around today, wherever you might be, whether at work, at school, wherever you might be, as you see God's beauty, especially in a place here like East Tennessee, that you will be reminded of the artist who has made it all happen, our all-powerful, all-knowing, sovereign, loving God. And may the fact that we get to enjoy this beauty motivate us to exalt his name all the more. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. God bless.